So Odin and I are outside again really early. He keeps waking me up at no, actually he doesn't. I keep waking up at 3 in the morning. I just have a lot of energy lately. So, oh, there's the demon bark. I love it. He's probably barking at a bunny or something. Something came to me recently. So, I love his growl. Do you guys hear him growl? Probably not. It's probably somebody going to work, getting in their car. Hopefully he doesn't scare the shit out of them. He's got a big voice. I want to share something, and I want to share it in a way that's probably going to be shocking, because I need to stir the pot. In my life, I love my little snake. Anyways, in my life, I have survived a lot. I have survived having my voice stolen at a very young age. I have survived being molested by somebody who was supposed to be a caregiver for years, by the way. I've survived being subjugated to kiddie porn rings and being filmed and going to strip clubs at 11 a.m. to meet men for pop at the age of 6. I have survived being raped. I've survived being pregnant alone, even though I had a partner, who, by the way, never touched my belly until the baby almost came. It was scary, but I did it alone, and I survived. I have survived being alone in all my adventures and endeavors for decades. When I moved to California at 16, I was alone. When I moved to Calgary at 17, I was alone. When I moved back to Ontario when I was 18, I was alone. First time a man broke my heart by lying to me and using me, I was alone. I had no friends. I had too much shame and guilt to confide in family. I did all of these things alone. I had to challenge the status quo when I found out my children were being abused. And instead of advocating for my children to be put on the stand and exposed to more trauma, I had to expose my biggest shame, what I lived with for 10, 15 years, what I willingly subjugated myself to under the twisted, fucked up, misogynistic belief that it was my duty as a woman to subjugate myself to man in order to provide my children with the appropriate lifestyle and home and upbringing. All of this, I'm actually really grateful for. I have learned that I have a power that goes way beyond the physical. I can reach a point where I no longer want to live and pick myself back up. The first time I tried to kill myself, I was 8. I was 8 years old. And it hurt too much to live. But you know why I lived? You know why I kept living? I refused to leave my mother alone with the man that was hurting me. If an 8-year-old can have that strength, what can I do now as a mother, as a survivor? Women have been shamed for their sexuality. We have been shamed for our power. Our sexuality is our power. It's a lot of our power. And when I say sexuality, I don't mean going out and sleeping with a bunch of people. Let's be clear, okay? That's not power. That's giving a lot away that maybe you shouldn't be giving away, but we can talk about that another time. As an example, the reason why I'm grateful for not having a voice and not being myself and always having to live under someone else's rules is is because I never made a story about who I was. I always knew deep down I was just being who I needed to be in the moment. So when I had to let my story go, it was the most fantastic feeling for me. And it was so easy to do because it wasn't something I made. And I knew that from the beginning. Last night, while I was going to sleep, my left side, the divine feminine side's been growing so much. Muscles in my left arm, muscles in my left side, and my back were literally like contracting, almost like a muscle spasm, but not pain. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm not afraid of pain, obviously. I willingly embrace my pain. One thing childbirth gifted me, and I know not every woman is blessed with the strength or the opportunity to do what I did, but I was able to make a decision, and possibly because of the hardships I traveled, that I would not take any drugs during labor. I just made that decision. I just decided it. And everyone's like, you can't decide that. You don't know what's going to happen. And I just didn't question it. I'm like, I'm not taking drugs. If this child's coming into the world, it's coming into the world because I'm making it happen. And I don't even know where that power came from. I mean, at that point, I was still beat down and suppressed. But yet, when it came to doing what was right by my daughter, by my first baby, nothing was going to stop me. And that's why I know when I look back now, and I also survived, learning that I lived with a man willingly, and I chose to go back to a man willingly, just to find out he'd been abusing my kids for decades. Well, decade and a half. I had to survive that too. And I had to let go of that shame and guilt. Because I know now, if I had known, yeah, if I had known, and if the rules of this Western society were different, things would have been different. I want to encourage all women, though, to not be afraid to embrace their feminine energy, including your sexuality. That does not mean go out there and make people uncomfortable by being extremely obnoxiously, abrasively, like, naked and, you know what I mean? Like, have some style, okay? Have some grace. Follow your heart. And if you want to, you know, wear jewelry or get your lips done, or you want to wear makeup, or whatever it is you want to do it. Whatever makes you feel sexy and alive. Whatever makes you feel powerful for you. Not power over others, but power over you. Do that. I've learned recently, just by exploring movement with my own body, that a lot of that power, that sexual energy that you like witness with belly dancers or sometimes even strippers, let's be honest, is a natural way for women to somatically release stored energies in their hips, in their pelvic area, in their lower spine. You can dance erotically and be passionate without having to share it with anybody. You can just do that for yourself. I mean, eventually, hopefully we all find our person that we want to share that with. But, I mean, I think there's so much power and so much alchemy in sexual feminine energy. I mean, literally, we're the creators of life. Yes, we need a masculine energy. Almost to, like, activate it in a way. If you think about the seed and the egg, right? But without us, there's no creation. Without us, there's no new life. We need to stop giving our power away. We need to stop seeing sexuality, women's sexuality, in a negative light. We need to stop believing this shit in the Bible, where it's like, you're a whore if you wear too much makeup or too much jewelry, or you're a whore if you have sex with more than one person. It's not true. Sometimes sexual healing is a good healing, but make sure you're being true to you.